Well, hello and welcome to the latest episode of Maximise Your Potential with myself, Chris Baker. And today I am introducing Krishna Mohan. And Krishna is an entrepreneur, a business coach, speaker. He's a #1 best-selling author, as seen on Fox TV, as well as multiple other media outlets. He's the president of Genius Visionary, managing partner of Capital Street Investments, and president of Gifting Boutique. So over the last 23 years, he's helped 3 Fortune 500 companies and several startup organizations focusing on sales, business development and finance. And his management style has been described as decisive and motivational, where success comes from a focused commitment to developing new business, cultivating relationships, training salespeople and creating growth strategies. So Krishna is an ideal guest to come on here talk about maximizing potential. And so, Krishna, I'm delighted to have you join us today. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this platform.
Oh, you're welcome. So I mean, that's quite a resume you've got there, Krishna, and quite. Obviously, you've achieved a lot in your life. So tell us a little bit about you, sort of like where are you from? What's your journey been to get to where you are now?
So I'm originally from India. I grew up in India, and majority of my life I was in India. And I was pretty ambitious, throughout my career. So I was fortunate to start off my career with GE in sales. And got an opportunity to get trained and exposed to different markets, different strategies, different styles of management, and I really did some cool things. I was the best sales guy in the country. I was actually managing a state's operation. Everything was really great at the time, but I was always ambitious to grow in terms of my my I would say, vertical hierarchical growth. And I did not see that coming because of the bureaucracy and, organization being a little flat as well. So I have to move to a Whirlpool. I was there for a couple of years, and then I was managing a larger territory, 2 states operation there, and then moved on to Reliance Infocom, which is also Indian Fortune 500 company. That was a short stint for a year. I was a corporate, key account manager for one of their wireless divisions. What I realized at the time was that I'm quickly getting bored. I'm quickly getting to a point where I think I'm not learning anything. Mm-hmm. So that's like every time it just takes a couple of years to just get to a saturation point. There's nothing exciting about this. Then I said, maybe this is not the way. Maybe I need to update my education, update my skills, which would allow me to really take, some top level executive kind of roles. And then I came to US. I did my MBA in US. I could quit those, great corporate careers, and I went to school just to update my education, came to US and did that, and then got back to corporate in DC metro area. I was working with a couple IT companies, and then growth, which are in growth mode. One thing led to other. I was in a couple industries within IT, doing some specialized things over there in business development and everything. And then I realized, I was learning along the way, and then realized that the finance and the accounting taxation is something which I saw that most of the top level management, are not good at. And I realized that that's the most important element. And then I went to school again, and I updated my education. I got an MS in finance, and that was really helpful. And then I came back, and then I realized, okay, maybe it's time for me to start something on my own. Now that I have a good grasp about real world, and see how these large organizations are built, how these smaller organizations struggle, and then Then I started an IT company with a partner. We ran it a couple of years and then sold for multiple seven figures. And then late to 2015, started Genius Visionary Management Consulting firm, helping large organizations on various consulting engagements, and then also focused on mergers and acquisitions, due diligence, evaluations, and things like that. Then started a business coaching practice for smaller business owners who are generally under $10 million size companies, helping them on revenue growth, helping them on funding and financing, helping them on building business credit, and few other areas, on exit strategies primarily, some cool stuff on that. So that's what is a journey. But I'm also a managing partner of Capital Street Investments. We invest on few asset class that. And then I run another company which is into women fashion, which is also a brand that we are building. So these are the things keeping us busy, and I'm really excited for the next 3 to 5 years on what's coming in terms of the challenges and the opportunities. We see that interest rates are all-time low, and I see that as a great potential for a couple acquisitions that we want to do. Yeah, so that's just a long journey in the short form.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, a lot of well, congratulations on a lot of the sort of business growth and helping others to grow the business from a personnel and human standpoint. I know we in the introduction we described your management style as being decisive and motivational, right? And the fact that you focus commitment on developing the new businesses, but also cultivating relationships. So, how do you help? How have you used that in your life, and how do you help people to sort of overcome what I don't know, maybe limiting beliefs, right, in what their business is capable of, what they're capable of? How do you help them through that?
Yeah. So when I said focused commitment, when I also said that cultivating relationships, all that is actually for real. You need focus, and then you need tremendous amount of focus to achieve anything in life. I mean, business is just one part of the whole life, but until and unless you're really, really focused on that thing till it's completed, you have so many distractions. You're not going anywhere. You cannot become high achiever until and unless you have that level of focus. That's number one. Number thing is commitment. It's one thing that I want to do something. It's a whole different thing when I'm committed to do it.
Right.
So both are important. If you are not committed, then you will face problems, and then when you face problems, you quit, or you are demoralized. Your ability to come back determines your level of success in life, your resilience. So that's why focus is important, commitment is important, and cultivating relationships is very important. At a human level, we are all human beings. That's what I believe, whether you're in business setting or real life, any kind of setting. But in business world, I saw that of my vast experience that people are more transactional.
Yes.
They're more transactional. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? How can we make it happen?
Right.
And I felt that that's not the only thing. My style is not that. That's not the way I look at it. I just try to connect with people. My goal is when I'm interacting at any level, whether it is a board meeting or any meeting, I'm trying to connect to the other person and understand things from where he is coming from. Where is that opinion coming from? Where is that conclusion coming from? Where is that idea coming from? What makes you think the way you're thinking? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go beyond what is shown to me, beyond what is told to me, beyond what I listen. And I take time. That requires time that requires patience.
Right.
So then it makes other person feel that he's heard, that it makes the other person feel that he's important, his point is validated. And that helps a lot in terms of not only building relationship, that you try to you make an impact in other person's life.
Mhm.
You just did not do a transaction. They met you at some instance, but you made an impact and they remember you.
Right.
And they remember you. So the thing here is that if you're trying to build something, working with customers, working with partners, working with vendors, or working with anybody, I think if you take this approach, you make a difference. It's not whether you do a business, do the transaction, you do the business or not, is a secondary issue.
Mhm.
Many times you may not even do a transaction with them, but you still made an impact.
Right.
You still made an impact, and they remember you, and they will come back to you. It may take time, but you got to have patience. You need to be strategic about it, and you need to be genuine about it.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because during my time as a leader with Disney, we talked about, and I talked about a lot with my teams about how I wanted us to be interactional, not just transactional, right? So
Right.
we're having an interaction with whoever it is we're talking to. Now, in our instance, it was the guests of Walt Disney World or Disney Cruise Line. But it could be internal partners, could be external partners, it doesn't matter. And as you say, take away from the fact that it's just a transaction. So we're not just exchanging goods for money, right? Or information for information. We're building that relationship. As you say, we're having an interaction, we're making an impact for the long term, all right, not just the short term. And that's
Eh,
one of my favorite books at the moment, or over the last couple of years, is Simon Sinek. I love Simon Sinek and his book, The Infinite Game, where he talks about how how we should be in our lives, but also, I mean, it's focused really on business, but it applies to individuals too. Is
mhm.
think about the long term, right? Think about the future, not just about the here and now. And I
Mhm.
think too many people, too many businesses are just thinking about what are the results they can get now, i.e. a transaction, right? Whereas as what you're talking about, I believe what you're talking about, and what I think is that it's more about what can we do to create a
Eh,
relationship that can
eh,
foster long-term
Absolutely.
benefits. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you take that framework, um, it's so refreshing in business setting. It is
Yeah.
so refreshing for the other person. Man, I'm talking to somebody who is, genuinely listening to me,
Right.
genuinely going to care for me. Now,
Yeah.
if he can care for me, he's going to take care of the business interest too.
Right.
He's not going to mess around. I'm not worried about the credibility and the trust factor, whether they can deliver the product, whether they are you know genuinely confident on whatever they claim that they can do. All these things are running in the other person's mind.
Hmm.
you know um, so you not only connect with them, but you also give them confidence, because you're not on the other side, you're on their side.
Right.
That makes that makes tremendous amount of difference.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tremendous amount of difference. I think it helped me along the way, and I think that's just my style. I don't know, I can't talk about others, but
Yeah.
that's just my style, and I learned a lot of lessons along the way. Because when I said lessons, because I also saw a lot of mistakes along the way
Right.
that are happening around me, or in many cases I made the mistakes myself, but I'm glad at least I realized.
Well, and I think again, I mean, that brings in a whole nother a whole nother area, but it's a lot of people are like fearful of making mistakes, right? Whereas I'm the opposite. I believe that we need to make mistakes, but we need
Absolutely.
to learn from those mistakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
if we make the mistakes and we don't learn from it, then we I posted I think last year sometime that a mistake is only a mistake when you miss the take away, right? So
Right.
you miss the takeaway. In every mistake there is a lesson, and if we
Is
learn
it?
that lesson and then apply that learning to the future, that's how we move forward,
That's how you
right?
move forward. Yeah.
If we don't learn, then what we're going to do is keep making that same mistake again, expecting different results, and that's the definition of insanity. So yeah, mistakes are important, but learning from those is just as important. And I think the other thing, that the phrase that sort of jumps to mind as you're talking about, the really what I would call active listening with people and building relationships, is that,
Yeah.
again, the saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's
Right.
right.
So showing care, that care, concern, and compassion to people that you are interacting with, and building that trust, right,
Hmm.
is crucial in growing yourself, but growing your business too, I would say.
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
So tell us, Krishna, tell us a little bit about the books that you've written. I know you've written, is it 3
Mm.
books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first book is more towards real estate. I will list. It's called Elite Real Estate Investing Leaders in Real Estate Industry, which is primarily focused on the strategies that work in this market, and how to remove the fluff or the hype around, like everything is an opportunity, everybody will become a millionaire, and everything, to just get to basics,
Yeah.
and then show them that anybody who want to get into real estate, um, the right way to do it, and simplistic way to look at it. Again, it gets back to focus on one thing, do it well, because
Right.
it's a specialized thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is specialized, so there are multiple strategies, tactics in real estate. Everything works. Everybody who does that may not make money, just because you need to know what you're doing.
Right.
Let me put it that way. So that book gives some actionable items. It's also number one best-selling book on Amazon. The second book is more geared towards the business coaching part, where I list 7 strategies in the book, where how I find 10K or above or more for any business within 45 minutes. So there's a lot of hidden money,
Hmm.
a lot of leaks within the business, that that's what the strategists talk about, that we can find that in any business without them investing a single dollar or any advertising or marketing. That's the book. um, uh, it's an interesting book, actually.
Yeah.
So that's the second one. The third one is called Insider Secrets to Build Business Credit and Financing, which is primarily talks about building business credit for business owners based on EIN, and how the business owner can use that and separate themselves from using their personal FICO and collateral to raise capital for their business.
Right.
Um, it's pretty interesting, very powerful. It's out there, but again, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we see that there are so many of them who 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 still struggle with that, or not even aware of it. So thereby, they use their own credit and collateral to get into some risky transactions, which would be you know not a good idea. I
Right.
would put it that way. It's a not good idea. So this would enlighten them, show the right path, and show the possibilities for every business owner on what is it that they can do
Right.
right away and implement it in their business.
So what sort of size business would that apply to? Is it like any business from like a solopreneur upwards, or is it a certain level of business, a certain amount of revenue, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it actually applies all the way from startup to any size of the company. When you talk about larger companies, that they call it as corporate credit, but when you talk about small medium enterprises, they talk about business credit. But either which way, it's the same concept. This application would be a little more different, or the options are more as you become bigger as a company. But if you have the business credit, then you have these unlimited possibilities, because you are no longer treated as an individual. You're treated as an entity.
Okay.
The whole credit is built based on the entity itself, not based on you as the owner. So
Right.
that's the starting point. So if I am one of these large retailer, nobody is interested to know who's the owner of Target. Nobody is interested to know who's the owner of Macy's or J.C. Penney. It's a corporate entity. That corporate entity has its own credit, and they will be able to get access to unlimited funding and financing. That's the same concept. If you visualize yourself as a small business owner, imagine that you could do for your small business,
Mm-hmm.
even if it means you could raise $100,000.
Yeah.
That's a serious money for somebody who just started their business.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at really small mom and pop, shops or businesses, they really struggle for even 50,000, 60,000, just to buy inventory, just to buy some basic stuff to run the business. Uh, what if you don't have good credit? What if you don't have good personal credit? So you don't have business credit anyways. You don't have personal credit anyways. So what would you do? That's the reality.
Right.
So, but for a business where the business owner is having a great personal credit, then he's risking that.
Yes.
Which he is ideally supposed to use to buy his primary home or his car, or send his kids to that
Right.
that Ivy League college,
Yeah.
versus that you're getting into this so-called opportunity, and then putting that online. You better make it happen.
Yeah.
You better make it happen. So yeah, I think there's always a right way, and then we are trying to educate. We're trying to bring all these things to the common, a common average business owner, that
Mm.
at least they're aware. It's their choice. At least they're aware what's possible, and that's why what we are doing is that we are trying to bring it in the form of whether I'm bringing some thought leadership, or content, or one way or other, we try to bring those things to
Yeah.
anybody who has that interest, that we try to give it for free. We have so many reports that we can give it for free. At least they know what's possible.
Okay. Okay. So as we come to sort of wrap up now, if people wanted to follow you, or if they wanted that free
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of information, where would they go to get that, Krishna?
To start with, what I would offer, just for your audience, is that anybody who would any small business owner who is, let's say, under $5 million, having their revenues declined during the last year, I would offer 90-day worth of business coaching from Genius Online Academy for free, just so that they can use that to make some quick revenues for their business. And the second thing, what I also offer is the 10K challenge book is also available for free. So best way for anybody who would want to take advantage of these two things can reach me at Krishna at geniusvisionaryinc.com. That is Krishna at geniusvisionaryinc.com, or Krishna at geniusbusinesscoach.com. Either which way, they can write an email that they listen to this podcast. I would be happy to enroll them on that program, and hopefully they would leverage that and make some quick revenues for their business. And then if anybody needs any other help, any questions, anything that they need, some information, some clarity, some guidance, I'll be happy to offer a 45 minutes complimentary session as well. They can write to me, and then I'll be happy to do that.
Perfect. Well, that's very generous, and I appreciate that. And what I'll do for everybody is I'll get those details from Krishna and put those in the show notes. So if you didn't quite catch that, then just go to the show notes under the episode, and you'll be able to click on the links so you can email Krishna and check out that and get those sessions booked for free. So good stuff. So Krishna, thank you. I appreciate it. Final message from you. What sort of pearl of wisdom do you want to share as we close off?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, what I would want to say is that we all know that anything is possible. We all know that anybody can achieve anything, but just that in our heart, we don't believe in that. Somewhere down the line, you have something is bothering you, something is not validating that statement, right? The reality here is anything is definitely possible. Anybody can do anything that they can possibly imagine. Don't just go by your current reality. Your current reality is telling you that is not right. The people who really crush it, people who really are at the top of their game, they have the same problems. They're almost coming from the same situations, or even not so good situations, but they all made it only because they believed in what they did. And they did not accept their current reality. They did not accept their past challenges they already had, right? I think this is what I just want to tell everybody, that irrespective of what's happening around, whether it is economy or pandemic or in the current business or something, there will be a way. There will always be a way.
Right.
You just need to believe it and just go for it.
I love it.
You will get those resources. You will find right people.
Yeah.
You will get the help. You will find a solution.
Right.
But again, stay focused, be determined, be committed.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. I love it. And again, don't expect it all right away. All right. We live in a microwave society, but growth and success and happiness does not come overnight. So
takes time. Yeah, it takes time. Give yourself some time, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And I think again, just as we wrap up, a lot of people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Flip that on its head. If you believe it, you'll see it. All right. So that's where I'm taking from your Krishna. So again, thank you. There's some great information there, and thank you for your generous offers to the listeners. Again, if you're listening, go down to the show notes, click on those details, and get in touch with Krishna. Take advantage of his generosity there. Again, Krishna, I appreciate you joining and look forward to following your growth and progress.
Thank you so much, Chris.
All right.